His ex is getting his $1 million retirement account. There's a problem, though. They broke up 40 years ago. I can't help but laugh. This is crazy to me. Happens all the time, man. My man Martin Shankman, attorney out of Parsippany, New Jersey, writes a blog where he talks about cases like this. And I haven't looked at it for a couple years, but it's interesting as hell. Like people, I forgot to change the beneficiary, and this is exactly what happened here. But check this out. It's from the Wall Street Journal. A legal fight over forgotten form offers a cautionary tale. Jeffrey Rollison and Margaret Smith dated in the 1980s. Almost 40 years ago after they broke up, she stands to inherit his $1 million retirement account. The reason she might get the money is that in 1987, Rollison listed Smith on a handwritten form as the sole beneficiary of his workplace retirement account. He worked with P&G. And he never changed his beneficiary designation and died in 2015. But his brothers, Rollison's brothers, say, wait a second, what the hell? He can't give the money to her. They weren't even married. They died. He died. They broke up in the 80s. The Brian and mechanic said, we were shocked. The brothers have been fighting his former employer, Procter & Gamble, in federal court to wrest the retirement money out of the hands of Smith. I don't know how to pronounce her name. She now goes by now Margaret Lossinger. All right, so that's her name now. So she got married. This is freaking nuts. Oh my goodness. In most cases, the beneficiary designations will trump the will, even if they were filled out decades prior. Yep. This guy right here, Brian the mechanic, he says, I'm just going through the motions trying to do what's right, what my brother would have wanted. Under federal law, employers are generally required to pay out the retirement accounts to the last recorded beneficiary or the surviving spouse if the spouse hasn't filed a waiver. That could be a name on a 3x5 card filled out decades ago, as in Rollison's case, or it could be a name entered online. Adding to the confusion, some employer plans, including P&G's, haven't integrated the old paper forms into their online systems. 100%, man. Check this out. They met each other. Rollison met Peggy at a park playing Frisbee. They started dating in their early 20s. They got jiggy with it, but didn't have any kids, and they get married. Later, they moved to Sullivan County, Pennsylvania, where she waitressed and he got a job on the floor of the P&G plant that makes Pampers. After a year on the job, in 1987, he signed up for the profit sharing and savings plan. He filled out a beneficiary card listing her as a cohabitor, and here it is right here. Margaret Smith, cohabitor, not even related, not a spouse. That's the beneficiary. In the case of my death, I hereby designate my beneficiary to be old Margaret. The Margaret said, I wanted marriage and children. He did not. Rollison later got together with a new partner, so basically I guess he cheated on Margaret and got jiggy with Mary Lou Murray, whom he lived with until they separated in 2014. He died at 59, single and childless. That just seems sad to me, dude. It's like I just feel bad for these guys. Look, whatever. You don't have to have children. It's just sad. He had no will, no guidance into who should get his $66,000 home, collection of used BMWs, or 2 cats. His brothers hired a local estate lawyer to help them become co-administrators of the estate, which they were able to rectify. But the ex-girlfriend, who's now 68, stands to inherit the entirety of the IRA, or in this case, the P&G plan. The total came to nearly $750,000 when he's died in 2015, but it's grown to $1.15 million now, which is worth much more than that. Isn't that crazy? Notarized and everything. The woman, Margaret, declined to comment. And her lawyer said the form is a form. 100% right. 100% right. The form is a form. But right here, P&G faced 3 potential claims on the retirement money. We got Margaret and the brothers each argued they're entitled to the balance. P&G also brought in Murray, who Lossinger was hooking up with later on, who they not divorced but separated in 2014. Because she was Rollison's longtime partner and co-worker. In 2020, a federal court directed P&G to award the money to Lossinger as Margaret Smith. The money is put in escrow while the brothers pursue claims. The brothers are. Here's where it gets. This is where I think the estate has can make a headway here. I think the brothers argue that P&G violated its fiduciary duty by failing to adequately inform Rollison of his beneficiary designation. Now, I'm not saying that P&G has an obligation to go to each person and say, here's your beneficiary designations. They're wrong. But check this out. And my initial thing is you can't have the company do this. It's not their responsibility. But check this out. P&G said it provided warnings when the company changed service providers and online and on its monthly statements, such as this. They said, P&G says, you don't have any beneficiary designations online. Any prior beneficiary designations on file with the plan will be retained by P&G but are not viewable on this site. I don't think that's sufficient. I think, look, I'm not a judge, jury, or anything. You can't say you don't have anything online. We don't have the information for you here. It sounds like you don't have any beneficiaries, but you don't have any beneficiaries online. Any prior beneficiaries you have, you cannot view here. So how do you view those? And that's not sufficient. That right there is a big error in my opinion, 100%. And the court should rule in favor of Rawlinson, basically saying, yeah, he did sign, but what are you going to do? The estate argued that this boilerplate was insufficient. I completely agree. That you can't just say you don't have any beneficiary designations online. Intuitively, that says I don't have any beneficiary designations. And the guys go, like, yeah, I don't. Even if Rawlinson saw the messages, the brothers argued that he would reasonably assume that they had meant he had none. Yep. Default rules would apply and the money would have gone to his estate, which is exactly what happened right here. Rawlinson had named his mother and his ex-girlfriend Murray on his workplace life insurance benefits, and then his mom died. And then Murray moved out. He removed her. So Rawlinson had no escheat. What's it called? Escheat, right? Escheatment, where he had no will. With no named beneficiary, the life insurance proceeds went to his estate. I'm sure he thought the same thing as happened to his 401k. Crazy. Anyway, right here. Separately, the brothers argued it wasn't fair for Lozinger to get the money and that the estate should get an equitable share. The court denied the estate's claims and ruled in favor of PB&G and Lozinger in a decision in April. The brothers haven't given up, though. It won't be easy to overturn the court's decision. Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, there needs to be better practices to make sure the information in paper forms is transferred to electronic data. 100%, man. This is insane. Update your beneficiary forms, dude. This is insane. You don't want your ex who got jiggy with another dude. I'm not saying that's what happened. I have no clue. No clue. I just find it. The whole thing is just a tragedy of errors. Comedy of tragedies, whatever the hell thing is. You don't want your freaking ex. Imagine, like, I was 18, 17, something like that. Imagine my 17-year-old girlfriend getting my money. That's insane, dude. And of course, I had no money. But still, just imagine I did. God bless. Love your thoughts.